Sparta! Struggle for Greece is a new game by Plague Island Games, and I'm going to show you how to rebox a prototype copy of this game here today on Legendary Tactics. Now, Sparta by Plague Island Games. Take a look at that map. Isn't that a great map board? We'll just pan over it here. I think it just looks great, and they did a very good job with the graphic design. Sometimes some of the spaces can get a bit crowded and so forth, but I mean overall though it's just a really nice looking board, nice and big too. You get a good sense there of the amount of space that you have to play on. So we'll just fold that up, put that back in the box there, and we'll take a look at the player aids. Now this is a prototype. This is not necessarily going to be the final look at where the game ends up, but the player aids are pretty good. There's the rule book, which is quite readable, and is this game looks like it's a really interesting game. I'm looking to do some more coverage here on the channel about this game, and so we'll just put the rule book and everything back in the box, and we'll get a good look at the pieces here. We'll start with the player boards. These are the 3 player boards that allow you to organize your armies and fleets and track your income and all that great stuff. They're made out of very solid cardboard. And then we got to look at the cards, and there's lots of cards. Now you sort through the cards depending on the scenario you're looking to play and which side sides are included in the game. The decks vary a little bit depending on the scenario, and but they're very well laid out, and again, very good colors. I really like how the everything comes together really well graphically in this design. And the parts, actually, there's a really nice kind of, I hope you get the impression from that view there, there's this really eclectic kind of look to them. And I think it really works well. And we're just going to suck up the pieces into the bag. That's always the easiest way to do it. Just hold the bag over top and just, allow them to be vacuumed up into the Ziploc bag there. These are some leaders that you can see. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce any of these names. It might be a bit tricky. Lots of wooden bits as well. And again, easy just to vacuum them up into the Ziploc bag there, yeah, lots of wooden pieces. So if you like wooden pieces, this is the game for you. I think the game actually, in many ways, comes across more like a Euro type game. Actually, there's some elements of battle and siege and so forth, but it doesn't really necessarily. It feels a little bit more. Even a hybrid, even maybe something a little Twilight Struggle like, maybe, with how it's done. But they have, those are your armies and fleets there that can be sent out to do raids or sieges. And then you've got in this example, we've got a prototype. Now the plastic may not be as sturdy in the prototype as it'll be in the final version. So I think that one trireme lost a sail there, but not to worry. We'll just make sure they're properly protected in the bag for the next playthrough. You can see they've got some other figures there. They've got a little storage box for them again. I have no idea what it'll be in the final game, but that's a nice way to protect them in the box. We got some nice cool warrior dudes there, and these are used mainly for tracking troop strength and so forth, but they're really nice looking. So I'll just put them back in the bag. And yeah, the game itself is interesting. There's a lot of kind of diplomacy, and there is obviously a bit of warfare, but it's a lot about navigating political landscape and actually using the battles as a means to an end, I think. And the event cards help out a lot with bringing the kind of the flavor of the era to life. It is a war. It is a war for sure. All the scenarios are based on actual conflict, but I find that the conflict is quite abstracted, and so it's something which is definitely not a traditional war game, a sort of hex and counter affair. But I think it's got some very interesting design ideas, and so we're going to just put this back. Again, those plastic boxes. I'm not sure what the final version of this will look like, but I think the plastic boxes are great for protecting these neat minis. And we'll just suck him up into the bag and put him away there. So yeah, and so I think as well that this game will be playable in a reasonable amount of time. It's a simpler game than Plague Island's other efforts, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's nice to have something that's a more quicker and more playable, easily taught and easily learned option as far as that goes. Especially if you don't have 4 or 5, 6 hours to play. But you got an hour or two and you'd like to spend it with playing a good game with a friend, this will be a good option. There is a solo mode as well, and I'm again looking to feature, that's one of the things I'm looking to feature in my coverage of this game. And we're just putting those packing peanuts back in. There's a little letter here just explaining some differences between the prototype and with a final game, what that will be. And so just put that back in for future reference. And put the lid back on. And again, the cover I think is great. I think it's all the aesthetics really hang together in this game, and I just think it looks like it's one of those games that people will come over and say, "Hey, what are you playing?" Because it looks really, really interesting. But for now, just because we want to protect it, we're going to put it back in the box and seal it up. And it'll be right ready to play for next time. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.